Observer and also the president of Edo Youth Council. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, well, complaints here and there, but first and foremost, what did you see while observing the elections?
Okay, thank you very much. We started our observation. First of all, while the process was ongoing, we were assessing Edo State Electoral Commission, and we were giving them our recommendation on the processes. First of all, what they did was the constitution of returning officers were considered by category members of political parties. We disagreed with them. They assured us that they were going to change for better. But in all this, they never did. We started the observation from 19th, that is the eve of the election. We were in Edo State Electoral Commission office.
Let me jump in. I mean, have you observed any of the elections in Edo State before?
Yes. I was seriously involved in the July 13th governorship election that brought in the current governor.
And you were accredited by the Edo State
Independent Electoral Commission. That was the federal...
No, I mean with the council polls.
This very council polls?
Was there any accreditation for observers?
Yes. This was... They gave us this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your letter.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how did it eventually turn out? You were talking about what you saw.
Okay. What I saw during the election or before the election?
Both.
Both, okay.
During the elections and before the elections,
okay,
yes.
Thank you very much. During the elections, what we did was the materials came in at about 5:30 in the morning of 20th. We monitored it. We ensured that each local government gets material on time, which was very possible. I personally escorted Agenebude Esako East to Agenebude. In the process, is one route. People going to Akoko Edo will be going on one East, Esa Central, and the host of others. We got to Agenebude at about 11:30 a.m. Distribution started. The DPO there was so wonderful. The person of DSP Abdullahi, who, as at that particular point in time, was the chief security officer of that local government. After the distribution, there were police security. But one thing we discovered that there was no much security made available for this election. So it was more or less like some few policemen doing duplication of duty. You go this way, from this way you go this way. There were some polling units we got to, there were no policemen there.
Did you have members of your council in the 18 local governments where the election was over?
Yes, yes.
And are you speaking from the reports that they all came up with?
Yes, with the report they came up with, because all the reports are synonymous.
All of them?
Yes, are synonymous.
With?
Okay, let me give you an instance now. Like as I was saying, in Esako East, do you know a returning officer who is a category member of ACN absconded with election materials without the instruction of the EO and the chief security officer being the divisional police officer of that area. It was the divisional crime officer that called the attention. All attempts made at calling him back through his GSM were proved abortive. Then we still made effort, even when they placed a call on us. We had somebody in I'm talking specifically Ward 3. We had somebody there who was observing, called us with the assistance of the DPO with his team, because there were no policemen. So we were using, the DPO was virtually using the few policemen he has to do the entire work. There were no policemen in Opela. So what we now did was, in the process of going there, we discovered that there were some units that there were no policemen. I got to a place, Uzano, that I was thinking women and young girls does not exist there, because the only people we met there were youths.
What did you see in Uromi?
Uromi. Yes, in Uromi. In I have text messages being sent by our observers. In Uromi, up to about 12:30 p.m., there was no election materials. Election materials came in very late.
Sorry to cut in there, because it's really strange. If election materials will go through that same route, that takes you further into Agenebude, Eichie, and those other areas. Yeah. They get to Uromi first before you get to... How come Uromi, that is closer to Benin City, you have to go through Uromi before you get to Agenebude? There were no election materials in Uromi, but we got election materials in Agenebude, Auchi, and the other places.
Suleiman, let me even emphasize that Urom is even too far. Ekpoban never got election material till 3 p.m.
So when did they vote?
There was no election.
What even happened in Oredo and Ikubauka? Because we understand, according to EDSEC, the Edo State Electoral Commission, they cancelled the elections and they have rescheduled.
Okay.
So what happened in Oredo and Ikubauka?
Okay. What the reason Mr. Solomon Ugo gave was that there were no enough materials.
That's the electoral boss in Edo State.
Yes, no enough material. Whereas in Ovia Northeast, headquarters at Igbobazua, there was a ward that had 4,600 registered voters. Over 10,000 materials were distributed to that ward. In the process of agitation, those materials were diverted to New Road. I'm talking about Ovia Northeast at Igbobazua. Then if you are insisting that there were not enough materials in Oredo and Ikubauka, why is it now that in Igbobazua you have much more than even people who registered? So you begin to see a level of inadequacy on the part of Edo State Electoral Commission.
What about the reasons they gave concerning this local government you mentioned, including that of Esso Northeast, how elections were postponed to, is it April 24 and Thursday 25?
Okay. Even that Thursday 25 is WAEC. Any reasonable system, you will be monitoring calendar to know how you fix it. 25th is WAEC. How do you write exam? Having a reflection of the kind of politicians you have. So you now want to mortgage our young children.
Are they going to vote too?
Even if they are not voting, security-wise, it's not advisable.
Okay, they use schools to conduct the elections.
Yes, they use schools. Even the cubicle they paid for, they never used it. Even the cubicle they paid for. If you have your men on ground in Benin, let them go to divisional police headquarters in Agenebude. You will still see the cubicles there. They never use them.
So these results that were released now, are you saying that they're not actually what they said they were?
They are not actually what they said they were. If the results were the reflection of the people's will, there wouldn't have been agitation in virtually almost all the local governments.
How do you mean agitation?
You were agitating. There was no election. You announced results. For instance, let me give you a Akoko Edo that was announced. In the Bilo market, Hoodlong snatched ballot papers away. In St. Paul's Anglican Grammar School, they were on printing.
Did you speak with the Commissioner of Police? I mean, because you've only mentioned a particular police officer who you said, the DSP, whom you said has done very well. Did you speak with the Commissioner of Police? Did you raise your fears with the Commissioner of Police during the conduct of the elections in terms of the inadequacy of security operatives?
The promise they gave was that everything was going to be in order. Even till on the 20th of April, being the morning of the election, the Commissioner of Police was in Edo State Electoral Commission office.
And he said everything was going to be in order.
Perfectly.
When everything wasn't going in order, did you call him?
Most calls were not going.
Were the networks jammed, or do you think it was?
You know, in that process, you will find it difficult. We were calling. I called from Agenebude. It was the fact that there were network problems because of the difficult terrain on that area. But my state coordinator in Oredo placed a call. The commissioner never honored that call.
As an election observer, did you already see certain lapses that you felt that the Edo State Electoral Commission hadn't covered? You already saw that there were going to be potential problems.
Yes, we saw that, and we were always writing, giving them recommendation and advices. And what they keep telling us is that everything is going to be in order.
You said your group monitored the elections of the governorship elections. Have you monitored any local government elections before now?
We have not monitored any local government election before now, because the group started in 2005, and up till now you know that there has been transition committee, caretaker committee, even when there was a court injunction in Ekpoma stopping a caretaker committee. The government, the state actors never adhered to it. So from then till now, there hasn't been any local government election in Edo State.
So what have you been involved in? Because there have been other elections. 2007, there was an election. 2011,
yes,
there was an election.
We were involved in a 2007 election. We were major actors in